And we are live. Hello. I'm Biff Knightley here with my partner Janessa Jenkins, and today we're bringing you a matchup between a bird of prey and the queen of the jungle, the Falcons versus the Lions, in a game that I've been looking forward to for a long time. What about you, Janessa?
Oh, this is going to be an unstoppable night, Biff.
I agree, especially, if you look at the Lions, just, they haven't really won anything in a while. They've been kind of treading water, not really, making anything happen. But I've heard rumors that they're getting ready to fight for the championship again. What do you think on that?
Oh, they're going to come in with their little grabby raccoon hands, and I'm not sure that the Falcons are quite ready.
Now, one thing I know about the Falcons is that they're from Atlanta, which is a place that is really warm. That's about all I know about them, but it's fine. We're not really too worried about them. They're the underdog here in this situation.
Dutch, Biff. I think this Falcon might be Dutch.
Dutch? Do Dutch people even know how to play football?
Are we doing football here?
I don't know. I thought so. Who knows? Well, anyway, let's bring in the coach of the Lions. I forgot this person's name. Sorry.
She's got great hair, though.
Currently, guys. Hello. Oh, yes. Elle, how are you? So, before we begin, tell us, are you ready for today's matchup?
I think I am. I feel like the taunting yesterday by the Falcons was uncalled for, and they're going to be in for a rude awakening when our team takes his team out.
So what do you want to say to the coach of the Falcons right now?
Get ready to lose, and I'm gonna kick your tail, feathery tail. Obviously, cats eat birds.
All right, well, one thing we hope is that the Lions are better at sports ball than they are at trash talk. Let's bring on our other coach, Matt Falcon, and ask him his thoughts.
He's Dutch.
Matt, welcome. So you're the underdog here today. The bookmakers and everyone has said that you have absolutely no shot. So what do you say to the doubters?
Fuck them.
This is a family channel, sir.
Well, bleep it out. I'm Dutch.
And what do you have to say to the Lions?
What do I have to say to the Lions? May the best man win, and there's only one man here, so.
All right, Janessa, how do you feel about that comment?
Well, Biff, I'm not here to get into a gender debate, but...
All right, well, yeah, we don't want to do that. This is the United States of America. So let's get back to the game at hand. We have the Lions versus the Falcons in some kind of non-football competition of sorts. I don't know. I was told this was going to be a football game.
If it's not football, it's communism.
We don't do that
That's
here.
not right.
Anyway, let's look at does anyone know the rules for this thing? Oh, yes, here we go. All right. I just received this from my intern. 1 hour of writing, 100 or 1K words, live streamed. Each of them is going to be creating an original fantasy creature. The judging criteria: originality, clarity of concept, and enjoyability of delivery. I can already tell you right now, I am not enjoying Matt's delivery because he cussed at me, and I felt very small in that moment, and I don't like feeling small. Do you, Janessa?
I'm quite fun-sized, as the kids say.
All right. So what we're going to do, we are going to get started here in a minute. Janessa and I will be monitoring live, pulling up their screens, giving you a peek into the action and giving our updated feedback as they go. People in the chat, you're welcome to also criticize them as much as possible. That is what we are here for. If the writers walk away from this feeling good about themselves, we have not done our job.
Stop me.
So I'm going to set the timer and we will begin. Does it, Falcons, Lyons, do either of you have any questions or concerns before we begin?
No, I'm just glad my bullying was effective and that the Falcons finally rose up to the challenge.
Finally. I'm just
Vanessa, what do
worried
you
about-
think? Was the bullying effective?
I think Elle is one of the top bulliers in the profession. If you've seen how she's made ZB Steele cry, no one can do it better.
To be fair, he's like 13 or something. Everything makes him cry. But anyway, moving on. We're going into
child quite like Elle.
You know, I've made a lot of children cry throughout my 4 divorces, so you know, I understand. Anyway, let's move on to today's show. Here we go and begin. Now, Janessa, I feel like we want to take a live peek in at Elle first to see how she begins this process.
Those live peaks are exactly why you've had 4 divorces, Biff. But let's give it a go.
You know, a man sometimes just cannot, resist a live peak.
We have an outline. We have an outline coming through from Elle.
Coming in with the somethingeth. That's a professional name right there. You already know that Elle is gonna hit hard in today's competition.
And the creature companion is some guy, and let's base this name on avocado, which, as we know, is not usually found in chip form.
And one of the things here that I just love is that, avocado, it's just, you see the artistry that Elle Lyons brings to the game. Just bringing in, we don't even, is it a fruit? Is it a nut? Is it a vegetable? All I know is that it's green and I like guacamole. But, avocado it shows just kind of, she's a student of the game, she's the first one into the gym, the last one out. It's a real tape, she was watching tape always just practicing. She lives for the sport.
She does, Biff, but part of the thing with being the first in and the last out is that Elle notoriously forgets what she's doing mid-sentence and has regularly commented that she will leave a conversation forgetting she was in one.
That's just a side effect of being one of the most electric players in the game right now. Is that, she has off games, sometimes off years, sometimes off decades. And it's just kind of, you never really know what to expect with her, which is why today I'm not really sure if we're going to get just like a virtuoso performance or if she's going to come out like a ZB Steele and just, shit the bed immediately.
Well, we have I'm going to assume that is a gyro saddle to go with the avocado theme. So we're already starting quite strong. But I feel like we should jump over to Falcon and see what's going on that screen.
Who's Falcon? Oh, the other guy. I keep forgetting about him. All right, let's pull that guy up and see. If you don't just start writing, you really suck at writing.
Well, he's not wrong there.
I'm looking at this, and what I see is that Biff was walking through the damp, dark swamp.
And hearing a howling in the distance, which could be concerning if you're afraid of sudden sounds like wolves or some kind of avocado creature. Have we established if this is happening in the same world, or are these competing worlds to go with these competing powerhouses?
I don't.
I think
don't know
Elle had
why
just
everyone
muted
was
herself.
repeating themselves.
This is the kind of strategy you expect from a powerhouse. They will start talking and mute themselves by accident. And apologize for muting themselves while not unmuting themselves.
But I
I
don't
did
even know
not
how I
mute
did that. I
myself.
didn't even have the screen up.
You know,
I think Biff is trying to manipulate the game here.
I was trying to mute everyone to figure out why everything is like repeating itself twice currently. All right. I have no idea what's going on. But does anyone else hear like everything is repeating?
Is it because you don't have headphones or something? I don't hear any repeating.
No, maybe it's just me.
It's you, Biff.
Oh, Biff, you're dropping the ball again. We've lost Biff. This has never happened before. I also now cannot control changing between the screens. Fantastic. Biff is back. As a co-host, I'm contractually obligated not to step on his toes.
I will say that my toes are very sensitive. It's one of the things several of my ex-wives have figured out.
I was explicitly told if you step on his toes again, you'll get the hose again. And having seen Silence for the Lambs, I don't especially want to be stuck in a well. So we've got a difference in strategy here. We've got the full paragraphs on one side, and we've got the bullet points coming from Lyons.
I do feel a little bit behind.
So people in the chat, are you able to hear everyone, or is everything all over the place? Because like,
I mean, I think we know it's all over the place, but
I was gonna say.
I have no idea.
we're breaking character here for the moment.
Let's look at this. 6 levers connected to 6 ropes that are connected to 6 muscles inside the car
think the
space
word
of the
is
great
lever.
acrolith.
Think the word is lever.
Maybe.
It's fine. It's not like Biff is an English teacher in his day-to-day life.
Lever is a perfectly fine way to say that word.
Kind of sounded like livers to me.
I definitely heard livers.
Lever.
So we've gone with Kato, it looks like.
Otto pulled one lever and the beast spit acid. He did not split acid. That would have hurt.
I think it depends on the kind of acid. Oh, we've got Acidat. I like how the challenge in this was that we were supposed to distract them. I feel like we're holding up our end of the bargain from the start on this.
You know, everyone, let's take a deep dive. Let's look at Elle's hair and see, is it messed up? Let's see. How has she styled your hair today? Janessa, what are your thoughts on this?
Elle has never had a hair out of place in her life.
Oh, thank you.
And if we're being honest, Biff, I don't know if you're the authority on hair care. Beard care, on the other hand, by all means, tell us how Falcon is doing over there.
Wait, who's Falcon? Oh, I keep forgetting. Sorry. Let's take a look in at.
You do
Falcon.
notoriously hate the Dutch.
You know, my first mother-in-law was Dutch. A small growl came from above his head, and Biff carefully looked up. There it was.
Yes, Biff.
That
Look
can't
up.
be you, Biff.
Glowing eyes looking down
Look up,
on him
Biff.
made him hard. Wait, sorry.
Just look up, Biff.
Biff refuses to look up.
That's because Biff just admitted on live TV that glowing eyes made him hard. He thought he got away with it, but he didn't.
I'm going to have to make an apology to all of the fans.
This is a family channel.
Fuck him.
Falcon coming in with penalty for language.
I'm Dutch. We can say anything.
So what I feel like the penalty is we get to erase 15 words from there.
I think the audience should get to pick what 2 words they would like to remove.
All right.
Going forward, Falcon will be not allowed to use these 2 words.
Moist.
No, if anything, you should have to include that.
Kat, give us 2 words that Falcon must use in their story as a penalty for language.
Are you
I'm going
talking
to
to
say
me?
courgette. We've been asked if there are vast tracts of land. Falcon, how would you respond to that?
In the real world or in mine?
I suspect we don't give a frickle about the real world.
Okay. Then, yes, there are vast tracts of land.
I, for one, would like to see the word mongoose appear.
Mongoose. There we go.
All right, we're going to do mongoose and moist. Moist mongoose.
Moist is already there, though. That was easy.
Shrubbery is a great word for world building. I'm going to agree with Vivian in the audience.
Shrubbery is, yes.
Elle's looking like she's hit a bit of a struggle there. I think we should jump over to her screen and see what's going on. I think Biff's getting some important updates. I hope it's not his wife saying, "You and your friends are quite weird." Because surely she knows that already.
No, my wife is not home, so therefore we can be as weird as we need to be. I was checking to see if our stuff was all coming out for the viewers live, because we've had some broadcast issues.
We have, and I think we've handled them quite well, especially as once
am I
our
the front?
commentator. Oh, sorry, Lyons, what's going on over there?
Am I the broadcast issue again?
You are not.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's take a look in here. Lyons is immediately just doing an amazing job. Look at this great shot, puppeteer. We know immediately this is a championship level story right now.
If I think you're missing the key moment here, which is the use of that M dash. That is a restrained use of an M dash. And I'll have you know that there have been some authors that have used over 400 M dashes in over just under 36,000 words. Some would say that's an excessive use of M dashes.
Well, the only
dashes
thing
are,
I'm concerned about here is whether or not the use of M dash constitutes AI.
AI.
I don't think it's the M dashes that we need to be wary of, but perhaps
Is it AI? I don't
the
know.
semicolons. No one on the right side of history has ever known how to properly use a semicolon.
Well, one thing I will say about the semicolon is that Nick NJ Alexander doesn't have one anymore. But someone here will get that joke. It's okay. We'll talk more about it on Sunday in that show that I will be hosting.
Oh, I think we're getting a deletion.
Just the outline.
Well, Lyons ate before she left. It's just one of the things she does.
The outline is gone, Biff. We have confirmation that the outline is now gone. And we return to silent slushing, which begs the question, why are we describing a sound?
We realize we're looking at two artists at work here.
We have a mongoose with what looks to be extremely elongated and could wrap around the body. Wrap its body around a tree several times. So I'm quite terrified about these mongoose creatures. Hey, Biff, what's the plural of mongoose?
Which would be realistic?
Mongoose.
Mongoosi, obviously. Mongosifers?
I will concede mongosifers. It looks like Elle's hit a bit of a hiccup over there.
I'm trying to do math.
Oh,
well,
dear.
She might have seen a raccoon outside and forgotten that she was writing.
I'm just going to make up a number.
It sounds like it's an issue with math, which, as we notoriously know, is incredibly difficult. I'm seeing the phrase jelly-filled human contents, and I've got to be honest, Biff, I'm a little concerned.
Well, I don't know, Janessa. I'm kind of hungry.
I'm fairly certain you just ate.
That was only 3 hamburgers and a turkey leg, just a light snack before, broadcast.
Oh, Biff, you're truly a glutton.
Indeed.
We have...
Speaking of jelly-filled human contents, let's look at Matt Falcon and see how he is doing.
Well, when we last saw Matt, we had 2 paragraphs and a bit of dialogue. We look like we are now on 3 paragraphs and 2 bits of dialogue. Something is currently being shot down.
No, it's not. Not yet.
It looks like Janessa and Biff are in a swamp fighting a mongoose.
Well, I've got to say, Biff, those are some great character names.
It's true. Especially Biff, I feel like he's a Shakespearean hero.
One has to ask at this point, though, do we think Falcon would rather have sausages for fingers, or sweat mayonnaise?
Well, I have heard from sources close to the Falcons that he already smells like mayonnaise. So we're going to say sausage fingers.
If you're trying to attract a mongoose, I think sausages is almost certainly the right way to go.
Mongooses know what's up. Sausages are delicious. Let's see. Kato is causing her to shoot another. It's important stuff right here. People in the chat, let us know. What do you think Kato might be shooting?
Remember, kids, it's a family channel.
She is not shooting heroin. That was my second one.
Not in this economy, Biff.
Indeed.
I don't know about you, but I think we've all had to cut back on our heroin expenses lately. I suspect you more than anyone with your 4 divorces and shocking levels of alimony payments and child support.
Oh, I'm getting an insider report here that Elle is purposefully drinking warm beer when there were cold ones, just because she is that much of a badass.
I don't think Elle has ever had a drink in her life. She's just simply too good and is on another level from the rest of humans who need to suffer through hydration.
Hydration is for the weak, and cold drinks are for the weak.
If you look at her, you see she does look like the kind of person who has been dehydrated her entire life.
I think that might have something to do with her pastime of collecting rocks, getting injured while collecting said rocks, and continuing to collect rocks.
And one of my favorite Elle stories is the time that she tried to make a stone soup like the old story, and she was eating the stones themselves, and it just, people said, Elle, it doesn't taste good. And she was just like, shut up! It's a stone soup. It's delicious. Don't insult my poor little rocks. And
she notoriously will not stand for rock slander. You can slander many things, but possums, raccoons, and rocks are not on that list.
It's true. That's why her favorite actor is Dwayne Johnson.
Well, that's just good taste, Biff.
Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, let's find someone who looks very not like him. Let's check on Matt Falcon and see how he's doing.
We have slightly more dialogue. It looks like
someone's... Here you are, you snail. Wow. Janessa called Biff a snail. That is a little too close to home. It kind of reminds me of a normal conversation between the two of us.
I don't think I've ever called anyone a snail. But this is a family channel, so we won't repeat the names I've called people.
It's not a family channel. Family channels are boring.
Speaking of people that we that we've criticized before, this really reminds me of when we had ZB Steele on weeks ago, and just how horrific everything about that man was. Janessa, what was the big takeaway from that moment?
I think the big takeaway from that, Biff, was when someone aptly pointed out he looks like he plays the triangle.
It's true. Sometimes you just see someone who is a triangle player, and ZB Steele, with his shocking lack of hairline and everything, definitely a triangle player.
Well, Biff, I think it's important to remember those in bald houses should not throw stones.
no one should throw stones because L will come after you for criticizing her stones and like hurting them, you know.
If I have some insider information here that L does not come after anyone, as that would require leaving the house.
That is very true.
And one of my favorite L stories is that she tried to convince Boss Man to buy a house because it had a cave that already came with it.
It was a really cool cave. Like
It was a really
cave.
cool cave, Biff.
Well, one of the ways that Elle actually comes after people, she does not leave her house, but she writes long grammar theory things at the person until they scream. So, you know, it's just kind of her own way of coming after people. We do have, you know, one moment that people, like a lot of fans loved was whenever ZB Steele thought that macabre was pronounced McCarb.
McCorb.
Yes, he's unfortunately from the South, and we're lucky he's literate at all. So,
Okay.
Biff, I think we're at about the halfway point, and I wonder if we should check in and check on our powerhouse's stamina and see where they're doing. So, Falcon, how are we getting on over there? With characters shaking like a dog and nanites burrowing into a duct.
Oh wait, I thought you were talking to Falcon.
I thought we were talking to Falcon as well.
I have less than a page, and I don't know where the word count.
You've accidentally muted yourself, Lyons, once again, proving that while you are a tour de force of the word, you are not a technical wizard.
No, Falcon, how are you feeling so far?
I mean, I guess you could say the creature might be original.
Do you want to talk us through your creature so far? What have we got?
What have we got? We've got a mongoose type creature, but it's elongated and it has really big teeth.
Have we got scales or wings?
We have wings.
Winged elongated mongoose. You don't see that every day, Biff.
Right, Biff?
So, a winged elongated mongoose is one of my favorite things in this world. So, you know, I do see them every day, actually.
You should try laying off the acid.
That's my luck. I knew, you know.
You know, a man's heart wants what the heart wants.
I mean, suddenly she found a commentator, and he's, you know, just all in her game. So it's very clear to me now what game is played.
And it looks like we're still with Elle, who's muted, and we have an avocado of some kind.
You know, I'm not hitting the button. How does it keep muting? Is this like a setting I have?
Yes.
Why is it is?
I don't know.
How do I unsetting the setting?
I don't know. Unsetting the setting. I don't know. It's unsettling.
Yeah, tour de force wordsmith and not a technical wizard. Which is to say something, as one of our powerhouse authors has actually left the stream.
So, we're going to take a quick halftime here. Janessa, how do you feel currently? Like, at the halfway point, who do you think is in the...
Well, as to how I feel, as a millennial, I am currently experiencing the base level of existential dread. However, I'm absolutely enthralled by the absolute shit talk currently coming from Falcon under his pen name that I will have to agree with the bio that I read, no one can pronounce.
And
Truly.
this pen name,
I
as an American, the only way that I know how to pronounce this name is Hidrivak, because I'm American. So,
which really highlights your lack of understanding of Germanic-based languages, as V's make an F sound.
I took German in high school, but I was really only in there because there were some really hot girls in that class.
I've just been informed my information about the sounds of the letter V are incorrect. And I think it's worth really noting that Elle has spent more of this time contemplating how they keep accidentally muting themselves while also focusing on the writing and drinking warm beer.
It's
as well
true.
as coffee.
Elle, she's a professional. Like, she's got years of experience of writing things and then deleting them and not publishing them, and then writing things and deleting them and not publishing them.
Biff, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it looks like our Falcon is going to get another beer. So I think we should jump in with them and just make sure that they're not getting too involved in the alcohol in this marathon when they really need to focus. The beer has been secured. We have an update. The beer has been secured and is going in a glass.
Good to see. I was kind of afraid Falcon might be cheating, but it looks like he is hydrated, unlike Elle, who
Elle is actually
more dehydrated in the last 3 minutes.
Elle is overhydrated. As you may recall, there's not only warm beer, but also coffee.
I do both. I feel behind.
True.
How many words do you have, Matt?
Oh, we've got a word count coming in.
Let me see.
Are you also at less? Oh no, that's me.
I'm at 350.
Okay, we have 350 words from Team Falcon.
Tools. Go to tools.
Tools.
Word count. Above. Yes, there we go.
Crazy amount of trash
I'm not
talk there where Team Falcon called Team Lyons a tool. The only person I knew of as a tool was ZB Steel, but apparently Elle is also one.
Elle is also coming in at a very low 245 words compared to our much higher something in the 300s from Falcon.
It's a question of, are those words better than Falcon's words? Are all words?
I think there's something to be said and something to ask about whether or not the right choice was deleting the outline. As we know, Elle is notoriously distracted and may have entirely forgotten the structure that she set up at the start of this.
I only did one plot note.
Completely forgotten what she was writing about in the first place, and has just started talking about, what cats eat for lunch and how to use a semicolon.
I think she's more into pauses and beats, as I recall from Elle most recently. That was the most recent Twitter thread, to my understanding. The audience has come in with some cheers for stout, which I believe is what Falcon has poured into his glass. And it looks like a fancy glass, which probably...
No, not stout.
Well, looking here, it looks like the head has moved back, in case anyone was wondering. And it looks like Biff might be dying soon. I don't know. I feel like that's where the story is going from Team Falcon.
Well, I think Falcon's really understanding that it's about giving the people what they want.
Janessa, I don't know how to take that comment, but I'm just gonna move on. And
we've got an exciting appearance of the word ludicrous, and I don't know if you know this, Biff, but in 9th grade English class, I misspelled that as the rapper's name.
Are they not spelled the same?
They are not.
Well, and whenever I think of ludicrous, I think of Arsenal and that ludicrous display last night. What's Winga even thinking? Putting Walcott on the belly. It's like Winga always Arsenal trying to walk in.
I think it's an excellent thing that as your moonlighting job focuses on being a writer and not a Cockney voice actor.
Boy, what are you talking about? Crikey. Bleeding rude.
It looks like Biff has not figured out how to move different parts of his body independently.
We got in a report here. EL absorbs hydration from the dew off the plant. She either nurtures or meticulously brings about their destruction. She is a plant vampire. You hear that? You've heard that here first.
Moss Whedon is still alive. I will have you all know.
You have a plant called Moss Whedon?
Yes, he was a gift from my cousin, and he's doing mostly well. He's only a little bit yellow on one part.
Is this the cousin that bites you?
No, different cousin. The cousin who bites me never gives me anything. She's very nice, though. I say because I don't want to be bit next time.
And people in the chat, what you're seeing here is when Ariana and who's Ariana? When Janessa and Elle get together, they start talking about random things no one else knows about, and you just have to nod your head. Let's look at what Elle is writing about here.
I think
someone saw someone's eggs. That feels like a violation of privacy, but we're going to go with it.
Yes, it's one of those things. It's probably a good thing that this bird versus cat showdown doesn't take place in a courtroom. There's acid ducks and seeing someone's eggs.
Speaking of courtroom, I was in one yesterday and I did not go to jail.
Well, that makes a nice change for you, Biff. Is this yet another of your many divorces?
No.
Your divorce rate is coming up as close as your STD count.
Speaking of STDs, let's look at Elle's story. I've heard that avocados are transmitters of STDs.
So we have expelling another thingy of acid at a falconer, which I've got to say doesn't seem like it meets OSHA standards.
A lot of people would like to expel some thingies of acid at a falconer.
I don't know.
They should be wearing their masks and their suits if they don't want to get hit with acid. OSHA should take it up with them. Here
named Arena.
We've got some victim blaming from Lyons over there. And Falcon's looking quite studious. I wonder if we should be jumping to his playing field and see what's going on, since at last we're there.
I think my webcam
live look.
The live look from when we had. Oh, we are still on heads moving back and snapping forward.
I see some non-family friendly language here, which means we get to add 3 more words.
Biff, I think you're missing a key point. We have lost an arm. We are now down 1 limb in this story. We are down to 3. This is a 3-limb story. This is truly what separates the men from the tiny 13-year-olds that look like they play triangle.
It's true. One of my favorite things is whenever I lose an arm and then I wake up the next day and the arm is there again. Regeneration.
Yes, scientists still aren't quite sure of what to make of you.
Neither are my ex-wives. So let's look at Falcon. What words do we need to add into his story?
Well, we have elongated mongoose with wings. We have determined that there are, let's just back up through here. There are vast tracts of land. So I think the best thing to do would be to propose the word
Oh, we've
shenanigans.
got one here.
Oh, nubbin, yes. I will propose nubbin and shenanigans.
I think coffee pot is a word that could go in there somewhere.
I think you'll find Biff coffee pot is probably 2 words.
As a non-native,
No, just written
can I
as
ask
one
what
word.
a nubbin is? What's a nubbin?
With an N dash connecting it.
We've had a question come in from Team Falcon about what is a nubbin.
What is a
I got
nubbin?
it.
Oh, here's another one.
I'm starting to dislike Vivian.
I don't know what a nubbin is, but I am famously illiterate, so you know. My thing.
Well, we'll consult the oracle, which a nubbin is
It looks like it is a small, stunted, undeveloped piece, often a lump or knob.
And knob goes excellently into the next word that's been proposed, cockwomble. Vivian's come back in the audience with a very helpful definition of a nub, but smaller.
Vivian is one of those, like, she's one of our favorite members of she's actually a part of our broadcast team, just one of our researchers who just, provides so much. Without her hard work behind the scenes, I couldn't be as amazing as I am, and Janessa couldn't be Janessa.
It would be a dark day if I wasn't allowed to be me. Vivian's an interesting case because while she was initially brought in as an intern, she stuck around so long, she's just part of the team.
I've heard that actually, Janessa, at one point, you just bullied her and told her she was part of the team and forced her to join.
Yes, that would probably be correct. I will admit that I have pushed her onto Team Lyons many times, as well as someone who was earlier in the stream, Andres, who I can tell you for a fact, when dealing with books that are not his vibe, will go and read Lyons' works because prose is life.
Is this Vivian, blonde Vivian, who's here?
It's an interesting situation
As you know about Vivian?
because
there's only one Vivian now.
Her prose is life, but she's on the verge of death. She's so dehydrated currently.
Well, I think we might be seeing some of that in Lyons at this moment because we have lost. We may not have lost it. It looks like there was just an explosion to the left of Biff's ear. We are reached 2 pages on this point.
Let's look at this here.
I don't know about anyone else, but I can't see Team Falcon behind the word cockwomble.
He should have never made that deal. Greedy, foolish. He wanted Arena's brute strength and size. The lie's acrolith in the Western Hemisphere. Large enough internal acid vats to take out 24 falcons before she needed to eat to refuel her acid. I mean, some solid stuff here. This is why Lyons has been she's been someone that we thought was going to be a champion in past years. Of course, she just never actually finished anything.
I don't think it's an issue that she's never finished anything. I think you'll find that she has at least one thing she has finished, and there's allegedly another thing on the horizon. This time with raccoons, and there may or may not be a jar of hair.
I'm on day 51, by the way.
We're on day 51 of the jar of hair.
Well, she has enough hair that she could probably fill several jars at this point, or make me a really nice wig.
Biff, it occurs to me that we've established that Falcon is working with an elongated mongoose creature with wings, and all we know about Lyons' creature is that it has an acid duck. Lyons, can you tell us more about your creature?
It has a carapace and an acid duck, and it's tall enough, implied by the prose, but not specifically stated, that you can have an undersaddle that's gyroscopic. So it's got to be tall enough to be. But I'm not very good at numbers, so I'm not gonna write a number. I'm not Googling.
Apparently, Cockwomble is still on the screen. There we go.
So we are just about to hit 2 pages. I think it's time that we get another check on the word count. We said at the start it was 1,000 words. Biff, do you know if that is independently or together that we need to be at 1,000 words?
At this rate, together.
I really don't know.
How can you not know?
I did not make the rules. I'm just here.
Just the sportscasters.
All right, so Falcon, how many words do you have?
I am now at 486.
All right.
We have 486 from Falcon. That is up. That is higher than his previous count.
And Lyons?
Lyons is on 2 pages.
Huh?
We
Right.
have officially hit 2 pages, Biff.
We're still waiting for a word count from Lyons. We're
Oh.
probably going to...
At 439. I'm
All right,
almost
so
halfway
Falcon
to
is slightly in the lead here. We've got 14 minutes left.
Lyons, while you just reached the amazing achievement of the 2nd page, could you tell us what your favorite word so far has been?
And this?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know. I guess gyroscope is a kind of good word, but mostly just because it reminds me of gyros, the Greek sandwiches. I love those things. The tzatziki sauce. I could eat just a tzatziki sauce. I don't know how to say that. I'm not Greek. But yeah, so I like the word gyroscope. I don't know if I'm saying that right either, but just because it reminds me of the sandwich, and I was hungry, I intended to cook myself eggs before this and then ran out of time. So now I'm just thinking about gyros.
Well, you heard it here, Biff. Elle could just eat tzatziki sauce.
No, couldn't we all? I've often thought about just being drowned in a big vat of stuff.
It's like
That-
ranch, but fancy.
I've also thought about Biff being drowned. Falcon, jumping over to you, where are we on the page count? Are we still on 1 page?
We have just, started our 2nd page.
It looks like we have finally jumped over to page 2.
Oh, well, we would be remiss not to ask Falcon the same question. Falcon, what is your favorite word so far?
Nubbin.
Oh, this is an unrealistic story for sure. Janessa has just been told to run.
The monster is called the Elyon. Or maybe the Elion? I don't know.
You only just caught up on that, Jesus.
This story...
We still don't have quite a good mental image of Team Lyon's creature. I don't know about you, Biff, but I certainly can't imagine that.
One thing about Team Lyons, she's not really known for explaining her things well. There's a story I've heard about how people thought her first book was a romance novel because of the way that she talked about it, marketed it, and produced a cover for it for quite a long time. In fact, I'm still told today that it might be a romance novel that she just failed at. So,
Biff, are you implying that we could actually see a complete left turn in Lyons' work, and this might be a monster fucking story?
I think it probably is one, actually. It's one of those situations where pretty soon in her book series that I don't remember the name of the series, but the first, the Starlight Jewel, the main woman character, is her name Axley or something? She and the big tree dude are gonna get hot and heavy. They're gonna get to an inn. There's gonna be one bed. And
Biff, I'm just going to point out to you that the tree dude in that, which I think is the one you're thinking of, is her father.
A different tree dude, like, another one.
Not the one on the cover.
Not the one on the cover, no. But sometimes a woman and a tree dude love each other very much, and they have a small sapling.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Biff, and assume you've not read the book.
Like I said, I am functionally illiterate, Janessa.
Well, true love is turning up at someone's house and asking them to bury you in the bathtub with a lot of dirt.
And then later getting waterboarded.
And then later getting waterboarded.
That actually sounds like my fourth divorce.
Once again, Biff, this exciting insight into why your marriages just can't seem to make it work. It looks like we have lost one leg from Team Lyons, which may go with the loss of one arm from Team Falcon. We are now working on less limbs, but if I'm correct, Team Lyons had 8 legs, so we are still up on the limbs on Team Lyons versus Team Falcon.
I didn't mean to make it sound like she lost the limb. She's doing it on purpose.
In a Falcon story, things have gotten violent quickly. And I'm kind of concerned about where the story could be going.
Well, it looks like Janessa is plowing through, which sounds just like something she'd do, until she got what she wanted. Which, fun fact, is why she is no longer allowed in the petting zoo.
One of the things about Janessa is that whenever she walks through a crowd, she just walks by any short person, she just pets them on the head. It's kind of weird.
I think it's because she herself is quite short, and seeing someone shorter is always a tremendous, exciting moment for her. Oh, we've gone back. It looks like Ariana is currently mocking. Oh, we have highlighted, and we are getting italics. We have just
that is just one of those moves where you see the professionalism, the high level of the Lyons, coming in with the italics.
Biff, we have received a third italics from Team Lyons.
Have to differentiate that she's telepathic.
She's telepathic, Biff. We have a telepathic monster.
So was my first wife, I swear. She knew everything.
Well, that certainly explains how she knew about the divorce well before you did.
It's true.
Oh, it looks like we have finished the italics. We are done with italics at this point.
And we are at the 5-minute mark.
So we have an elongated mongoose, which has lost a limb, I believe, to give us our nubbin. Unless, Falcon, can you confirm if that was with the elongated mongoose, or was the nubbin connected to a different character?
The nubbin was actually one of the fingers, I think, of Biff. I'm not even sure at this point.
You heard it here, folks. We have no idea who that belonged to for the nubbin. We have a rogue nubbin.
Let's take a look. Speaking of nubbins, let's take a look at Elle as she writes. You can just see the focus. Actually, no, the complete lack of focus. She is currently thinking about what she would name a possum if she found it in her backyard. That was a new one and not one of the ones that she's already named.
I think Elle is someone who is incredibly excited for a new possum on the scene. She will just see one and immediately think that's going to be my new friend. And then realizes that her children do not want the possum in the house, but her one-eyed son, Jake, would probably like to go outside. Unfortunately, he's not allowed out at night.
It's true. I'm seeing Vivian might be suggesting that the possum should be named Nubbin, which I think is actually a pretty good name for a possum.
Oh, so according to our stream, we've reached the 1 hour mark. What is our countdown over there, Biff?
We have 4 minutes.
Oh, Team Lyons looking a bit stressed now.
Oh, you see the biting of the lip. It is go time.
We've got a grimace. And how are we doing on Team Falcon?
Let's check on Team Falcon. He looks pretty calm, He's got the beard game going. He's got a little bit of a smirk.
There's a nice reflection from a light in the window behind him. And it looks like the street lamp has gone on.
He has a really nice head of hair. Very much the opposite of ZB Steel.
It's actually a reflection of my own light.
He's also got a really snazzy lamp.
It's true.
His lamp game goes quite hard.
Say one thing for Falcon, say he's got good lamp game.
Oh, he's gotten back in the zone. We are back in the zone. We are down to the final. Is it 3 minutes, Biff?
3 minutes left. Let's check on live look-in on Lyons. You see the determination in her eyes, the total lack of hydration in the rest of her, and just what is going to happen here.
I think what's really admirable about Team Lyons is I'm fairly certain she's entered this marathon on a beach chair and is sitting hunched over like a shrimp, which, as we know, is not the best way to sit for the sake of posture, but seems to work for her, and you can't argue with results.
Well, one thing about Lyons is that we're never quite sure. Is she a gremlin or is she a shrimp? We're not really sure, but she is really good at being hunched over on a beach chair and still writing. Looks like it is a Tommy Bahama beach chair, which shows that she comes from quite a bit of money.
I don't know anything about
Tommy Bahama beach chair. Biff, am I right in thinking we're down to the final 60 seconds?
We have 90 seconds left.
This is 90 seconds. We are at a 90-second mark for this marathon. Are we going to make it to the 1,000 word mark? Biff, I have it. I just received a report that shrimp pose gives writers power, and it is actually, in fact, a closely guarded writing secret.
This is one of those things I need to take a screenshot of this to share on some different Discord,
Biff, I'd be very careful with that. That might be how the writing mafia comes and gets you. They will have had enough of your shenanigans, and this might be what tips them over.
I'm not afraid of the writing mafia. I've actually been married into the real mafia. So.
And which wife number was that?
7.
I have heard he's part of the Fae court.
Biff, I'm hearing now that you are actually part of the Fae court.
I actually am currently a king of the fake court. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingers off your laptop computers.
Right. Can we get a final word count, please? Let's start with Team Lyons, who has rested from this marathon moment.
578, 3,300 characters.
We've 578 across 2 pages.
578 for Team Lyons. 723 from Team Falcon.
It looks like Team Falcon has won in terms of quantity. Now, Biff, how are we judging quality on this one?
So what I have heard is that the two writers are going to read what they have written aloud, and then you and I are going to vote.
Well, this has taken quite the turn. Team Falcon, Team Lyons, who would like to go first? Elle is currently pointing off screen. As that is not
Where is he on your guys' screen? He's over there to me.
So someone who is not currently on screen will be going first.
I personally love when the ghosts start to speak. It means my medication has started working.
I think Falcon should go first. I'm pretty sure that he's in the wrong time zone and is behind. I'm sure he's behind.
I think you'll find Elle, he's ahead in the word count.
I'm definitely not behind. I'm always in front. It's the same day and earlier at your place. This is not hard, Elle.
I don't ever have to know.
We're gonna go with Matt Falcon as the winner on word count. You will get to read first.
Yes, let's go. Okay. Should I do the first sentence?
Oh, I think you have to.
Yes. Every sentence
Okay.
you have written.
Sorry, what was that? Nothing. Okay. There we go. If you don't just start writing, you really suck at writing. As Biff was walking through the damp and dark swamps, he was hearing a howling in the distance. This was not something that worried Biff. Biff had fought creatures big and small. He was on the hunt for something else now, something he'd never fought before. As he creeped across the moist lands, he thought he could hear a rustling behind him. He spun around, but there was nothing there. He could feel something, though. The hairs on his arms stood upright. There was just nothing to see. A small growl came from above his head, and Biff carefully looked up. There it was. The glowing eyes looking down on him made it hard for him to see the rest of his body. He knew what it looked like. The body was like that of a mongoose, but elongated. It could wrap its body around several trees at the same time. Janessa, Biff whispered. I'm looking at one right now. Only the silent slushing of water betrayed that Janessa was even there. Biff could either barely hear her, or he heard her double for some reason. There was nothing else around here, though. Biff was sure, so it had to be Janessa. Shoot it down, then, he heard Janessa whisper harshly. How am I supposed to do that when I have no gun, woman? Biff said. He immediately felt Janessa's rifle poke him in the back. Here you are, you snail, the response was. Biff was still holding the alien's eyes. It was baring its teeth now, if you could call them teeth. They were as big as Biff's fists. Biff nearly choked. That was all the loss of focus the creature needed. Its massive ears started flapping, and a windful of stench wafted toward Biff. He knew there were more of these ear-like wings riddled across its body, which allowed it to fly. It would be hard to fly in these circumstances. The trees were too close together. But flying was not the only reason it would flap its ear-like wings like that. It was also a way to indicate it was about to attack. The hat moved back before snapping forward at a ludicrous speed. Biff could only get part of his upper body out of the way. Hot, searing pain shot through his left arm. He looked at where his arm used to be. Shit. A quick jerk of his head made sure he missed the rest of the body coming crashing down. His right arm moved up to the point at the alien's head. Squeezing his right hand, which consisted of 4 fingers and 1 nubbin, the rifle let off a deafening shot. Sorry. Blood exploded left of Biff. It didn't seem to hurt the alien at all. The beast screamed, seeming only to be angered rather than hurt. What a shit show. Run, Janessa, Biff now screamed at Janessa. However, Janessa was already hacking away at parts of the aliens' bodies. Biff knew that once she got into a craze like this, she would not be stopped. She would plow through and not stop until she got what she wanted. Janessa, we don't have time for this. We need to get away, Biff shouted, even though he knew it would be useless. Fuck it. Biff took his knife and jammed his arm right up the mouth of the alien as it was coming at him. That was a mistake. Even though he was able to punch a hole in the roof of the alien's mouth, the mouth now closed. Snap. Biff spun. His head spun. His only arm was left in the mouth of the alien. Biff was now armless. Janessa's screams somehow made their way to his ears. She was, as always, plowing through. She had gone right through the alien's body, splitting it in half. If only it had happened earlier, if only he had waited a bit longer. Biff could feel his energy flowing out of him. The alien's body dropped down on him, alleviating him of the rest of the last air of in his lungs. All he could do now, Jesus. Janessa's howls and swears came to his ears, but he didn't care anymore. He'd hunted many a creature. He'd conquered them all but one. He exhaled.
I do like that the alien took his arms. That was a good touch.
I mean, why not?
Crushed an unarmed Biff.
I mean, crushed an unarmed Biff and unarmed him.
Well, Biff is an amazing man.
Hated by many a wife.
Now that's a description that was missing in the text.
Beer Matt sounds like a sleepy Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I guess I can distract myself with the comments now.
All right, and now we are gonna. So before we get over to L's, Janessa, what are your thoughts on that first? On Matt's, and whether you think he has a shot.
Well, I personally quite like the part where it's a little bit ambiguous as to whether or not Biff is dying from blood loss. And as we all know, that is truly what makes a story shine in the eyes of certain readers. So I think he's come in with a strong opportunity to take ahead of Elle for the moment, but as she's on less word counts, we might see a difference in the quality of the creature's attacks. This one it's been a little bit ambiguous about the creature and really focused on the human interaction. And as we all know, humans are an evolutionary mistake.
My question,
really
before we read L's here, is: did she actually finish, or did she get sidetracked? Let's see. As we move over to...
Look, I didn't use a whole lot of descriptions. I used a lot of implication, and I may have used my favorite technique of a gigantic time skip.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
readers are
conflicted. Context. Just read your work.
It's a bold move, Elle, but let's see how it goes.
6 levers connected 6 ropes that connected 6 muscles inside the carapace of the great acrolith arena.
Cato, in a saddle hanging beneath Arena's underside, pulled one lever and the beast spit acid at the incoming Falconeer ship. The beast coughed irritably. The first few shots always irritated her throat. Great shot, puppeteer, Arena's voice echoed in his head. Too bad there's no time to stop for a snack. You ate just before we left. Cato pulled another lever, causing Arena's left front leg to pierce down into an armored vehicle, catching the jelly-filled human contents inside. You're not the one generating 500 gallons of acid each morning. Arena sighed into his skull, and he could almost feel the sting of it on his brain. She was in a mood again. Did you visit my eggs this morning? Cato caused her to expel another thingy of acid at a falconeer. It swerved to the side and closed the gap, getting close enough to actually get a hit on Arena's face, the nanite projectile clogging her acid duct. Arena shook like a dog as the nanites burrowed into the duct. Cato braced, but the gyroscopic undersaddle kept him mostly stable. The ground forces took advantage of Arena's momentary stillness to attack her legs, but her shield-like joint scales protected them. I asked you a question. Arena strained her muscles against his levers, rearing back, then rammed her front legs back down with enough force to compact her book lungs, propelling the nanites out. Yes, I saw your eggs. They're still fine. Cato managed to get control of his levers back, feeling a knot in his stomach at her tone. And no, I can't return them to you. That's okay, she said, voice now sickly sweet. As long as they're still safe. They are, and you'll get them at retirement, just like everyone else. Cato did his best not to visualize the eggs, but he couldn't help but think of their whispers. The chattering whispers from within the shells, begging for release, for warmth, for mother. He should have never made that deal. Greedy, foolish, he wanted Arena's brute strength and size, the largest acrolith in the Western Hemisphere, large enough internal acid vats to take out 24 falcons before she needed to eat to refuel her acid. Saw a flash, Arena teased, pulling against the levered ropes again as if just to show him she could. She snapped a falconeer out of the sky and crunched it down like a potato chip, eating it, metal and all. She'd leave the mess for Cato to deal with out of spite. What was that smell? Birch? Stop, Arena. You're not getting to them until retirement. We've got a lot of... Arena curled one of her 8 legs into the bottom of the gyroscopic saddle, leaving a large dent in the floor. Stop, Arena, she mocked, chuckling. Only a few places in Divino with birch groves. Wonder how long it'd take me to search them. That's a native species. Everywhere. It could have been on my clothes. And we have work to do. ... The memory faded as he coughed up blood, a sharp acrolithian leg piercing his guts and pinning him to the floor. Arena looked down at him with her 7 green eyes and hissed softly. I told you I'd find them, puppeteer. You need stronger arms to pull the strings that slip under these scales. My lovelies are hungry. The end. See, I finished, 2 paragraphs after this time skip.
Well, Biff, how do you feel about that?
Well, I will say the one thing in my illiteracy, I don't know if I understood it quite as easily as the Falcon. Pretty much, me, you, fighting hell in a forest or something.
I think it's because you struggle to identify with strong females of any species, which is truly what led to the downfall of your 5th marriage, and I believe as well your most recent 7th marriage. Truly, you don't learn from your mistakes.
I've only been married 4 times.
And you somehow mentioned 7 wives.
I'm thinking about the future. I'm getting there.
Well, if we think about the past, I've got to say I didn't see the spider leg murder thing coming. So I think it's important that we review the rules. What was the criteria we were voting on?
Let's see.
I think it's also important that we open the floor to an audience vote.
Audience, you guys have a vote as well.
There's still an audience.
Shockingly.
Originality, clarity of concept, and enjoyability of delivery of the creature in the story.
Well, if I'm being honest, the full descriptions of a character only really came from one story. But does that make it original?
I feel like he used a real animal.
He did use a mongoose, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of forced to. I feel like you didn't even use the words that you were supposed to use.
Wait, was I supposed to use words?
No, Elle, you did not receive a penalty.
Oh.
Elle, you never received a penalty because you kept things family friendly.
I did. Yes. I only had acid in there.
This is such an American program already.
I was going to say this feels profoundly anti-Dutch.
All right. Well, Janessa, as a judge, who are you going with?
Well, Biff, I think you said it best in our messages before this. Your words were, as I recall, you're a woman, your opinion doesn't matter. So I'm going to bounce it over to you to start.
All right. So thank you. I appreciate you listening to, talk on that matter. We're going to first, I felt like Falcon did a great job of putting us in a scene, had a lot of action, violence, blood, all things I like. Whereas Lyons was a little bit more thoughtful. It made me feel uncomfortable, which is something that, only 4 women have ever been able to do before. But it was kind of a different type of story where I wasn't really sure what was going to happen and I wasn't sure what was happening, but I liked it. And so
that sounds like your prom night all over again.
In the end, my winner is going to be the Lyons.
Yes. You do have a weakness for women, I would say, and Arena clearly seduced you with her broad motherly instincts and immense size. I feel like, that was my strategy, is just to win one judge with the stereotypes that I know he loves.
Well, I think if we're going on originality, I have to give it to Lyons, as she did not receive a penalty and was therefore not forced to include a real creature. But in terms of clarity of concept, I've got to hand it to Falcon, who kept us in one timeline with Now, the question on enjoyability of delivery, how do you compare a wordsmith to a sleepy Arnold Schwarzenegger?
He does have a much better reading voice. And I don't think he stuttered at all.
I stuttered.
There were mistakes on both readers, but we're not talking about that. Biff, I'm sorry, but I think it's going to have to come down to an audience vote on this. For me, it's a tie.
All right, audience.
Everyone's left.
Did you guys abandon us at the vote?
Vivian, it's up to you.
Well, as it seems that Vivian, who, as we recall, was just made part of the team because she had been around for so long, is currently listening in a truck.
Oh.
So as it's a tie, that would be 1.5 votes for Lyons and 0.5 vote for Falcon.
Yeah. Oh, Kylie comes in with a vote for L.
But I think Falcon put up a good fight.
Falcon, he
Do
did
think
a
he
lot
did better
more
with
than I
clarity of
expected.
concept.
I agree.
I thought Falcon was just going to be the really major underdog, and he put up a good fight against, defending non-champion Lions. Why was Lions not a champion last time? Well, last time Lions probably didn't finish because when was the last time Lions finished the book,
I think Lyons had fallen down on her usual hurdle of setting alarms and then turning them off because she thought they weren't relevant to whatever was going on at that moment.
What did I not think was relevant?
I think it was a game night.
Oh. No. Yeah, I do
All
remember
right.
that I made it to the game night. I'm going to say I'm going to vote, and I'm going to vote for Falcon because while I was writing, I did completely forget to describe the creature literally continuously, and you kept reminding me. And I feel like that's kind of cheating, and I would remember when you reminded me, but I would be like, I just have to finish this sentence first. And then by the end of that sentence, I would forget. But that was kind of the purpose of this challenge, was how easy it is to describe fantasy creatures. Apparently, it's really difficult if you can't concentrate for more than a sentence. But maybe Matt actually can focus on the real task at hand sometimes, unlike myself, who cannot focus on literally the sentence I'm saying while I'm saying it.
I refuse to accept that I was able to focus for more than a sentence during this endeavor.
I will agree, though. I think Falcon takes it on clarity of concept.
But originality, I do feel that using a mongoose was cheating. Yeah,
that was not
part of originality. I had to follow the rules.
That was the penalty, though, so he did follow the rules. So he does get a gold star for following the rules.
Okay.
Eventually.
Wow.
And
so, what does that make the count? If I vote for him,
and that spews.
Well, it then comes down to this. So we have 2.5 votes.
Trash talk
for L, and half a vote for Team Falcon. So Team Falcon, who are you voting for? Oh, no, sorry, 1.5 votes for Falcon. So Falcon could make or break this tie.
I think that he should only get half a vote because he's Dutch.
It's true. Dutch people only get half a vote.
I mean, they're barely even the size of a state over there, aren't they?
This is just
like an island.
Typical. So typical. I already got I had to use the word mongoose and nubbins. And
I also think it's really funny that L is downgrading their vote to be only worth 0.5.
I mean, if we're going to do it like electoral college style, like Americans, which I think we should do.
We should not do anything like Americans.
There's 2.5 Americans here.
Americans do not understand how democracy works. I'm sorry.
It's not a democracy. That's why we're making the electoral college here.
So Lyons has currently got Biff's vote. We've got the audience vote and 0.5 of my vote. Falcon has L's vote and 0.5 of my vote. Falcon, who are you giving the trophy to?
Well, we've got 3 people in the audience who all voted for L.
The audience counts as 1 vote.
Okay.
They don't get their own state.
I'm obviously gonna vote for myself because fuck the Lions.
Biff, we have a tie.
Well, whenever there's a tie, it comes back to Biff once again. As I am basically the JD Vance of this assembly here.
And that's all for today, folks. Thank you.
Well, we have it then, as it's come back down to Biff. You've heard it here. Elle is currently the reigning champ of, what did we call this stream? The Predator Battle.
I mean, big shout out to my man Tim McKay, who's
stop
spot on.
Thinking
Tim
about
McKay is spot on.
those wide childbearing hips on that big
She has multiple eggs. She's very fertile. She's very large, and she can smell really good.
Elle, stop! You can only get so hard.
No,
well, Biff, I think that takes us right to the end here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like Tim said, the system is rigged.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today as you watch the battle between Lions and Falcons in this wonderful adventure. I am Biff Knightley, with my assistant and protege, Janessa Jenkins.
I'm coming for your job, Biff.
Goodbye, everyone.